Hello, welcome to another study in political theory of the United States. Today we'll be going over the form of democracy that we have today. In today's form of democracy, we generally forego the influences of many social, economic, and religious-based theories. Now, in some other countries, this isn't the case. Some other countries, they have extreme examples of social, economic, and religious extreme parts of government. So, in today's video, we're going to be including them in a United States context. So, for example, in feudalism, there's a general social construct called the social pyramid. In the social pyramid, you have the peasants, who would be at the bottom of the class, and in the top would be the king, and in between would be various religious and social figures.
In a 21st century context, feudalism would look like a libertarian's dream, as there's no government and only one ruler for each and every little town, presumably. Over time, they might collectivize as modern-day peasants and vassals moved to more prosperous fiefs. At first, the small lands might resemble plantations of the 18th century, with peasants working the fields instead of slaves, except there isn't really much of a difference as far as just changing the ideology of slaves, and vassals controlling the peasants' output. Predictably, we could see the main export of a fief being the closest economic resource in the vicinity as well. This would promote trade between different fiefs since they need different resources that other fiefs provide. Most of the social classes would be reliant on technology that is produced, like robots that can farm, that would presumably take the peasants' jobs, leaving other industries open, like secretaries.
As we move to our second form of government, an example of religious extremism is the word theocracy. According to the Merriam-Webster's dictionary, the word theocracy means a form of government controlled by the state by immediate guidance of, or by officials who are regarded as divinely guided. In short, a country run by theocracy is run by religious ideologies. As of 2019, only 7 countries are run by this form of government: Afghanistan, Iran, Mauritius, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, Vatican City, and Yemen.
Alright. In America, over 70% of all citizens identify as Christian. This would make Christianity the leading religion in America. If we were run by this form of government, we would most likely see an increase in resistance and violence between religious communities. With Christianity ruling and others deprived of rights, schools in a theocracy U.S. would teach Christianity just as well as math. The First Amendment would be abolished to prevent other religions from taking over.
Alright. A famous form of economic-based government is communism. This was originally the belief in equity applied to all aspects of society, where no one profession pays more than any other. Instead, monetary gain differs based on what is needed to put all people on an equal standard of living. Someone who has many children and is unable to sustain themselves on the current income level would be paid more than someone who is more than financially stable. Communism was developed by Karl Marx, who believed that the working class or proletariat would rise up in revolt against the owning class or bourgeoisie. Famous communist countries include Russia, China, North Korea, and Vietnam. These countries provide examples of what communism would look like if applied to the U.S.
Because property would belong to nobody and everybody at the same time, there would be fewer low-income communities and an increase in funding due to city planning. The quality of education and literacy rates would noticeably improve, as everyone would have equal access to these resources, and there would be less deterrence from keeping them from utilizing this knowledge, i.e., dropping out of high school to work. Now, some bad things about communism would be the innovation and technological advancements would decrease, as there would be no monetary incentive to inspire improvement. There would also be fewer people interested in pursuing careers which require years of practice, as one would receive the same pay no matter what the profession. It is possible that life expectancy would drop, as there would be fewer doctors. The president would be put in a greater position of power, as he would stand above the equal masses. There would be an opening for potential corruption via tax fraud, as those with wealth would keep their money in a transition to a communist society.